Hey guys, Coastal Clutch here. Today I am going to be doing unboxing, not much of an unboxing because I've already opened it, of a motorcycle parts. Basically what this is, guys, is the SMOTO Tail Tidy for a Speed Triple. Haven't seen many reviews or anything much about this tail tidy. To be honest, I really don't like any of the R&G, Evotech tail tidies because they look funny and they have the indicators sticking out like this, whereas this SMoto will have indicators down here, which I reckon looks a bit better. So it's basically indicators underneath the tail, the number plate, sorry. Yeah, so here we go. So as you can see, small little box, came all the way from Leicestershire in the UK all the way to Australia. Box was in a bit better shape, I just tore into it like an animal. So open it up, bubble wrap. These guys love bubble wrap. First bit out is the okay, so this is the indicator bracket. This will sit underneath the tail tidy. Imagine it, guys. I'll put it together so you can see a bit better once I get everything out. So stock indicators bolt right into here. Pretty neat. Little bag of goodies is a bolt with a nut on it, some wire connectors and a couple of little zip ties. Goodie bag. Alright, so this is the main show. This is the tail tidy itself, in bubble wrap and in a Ziploc bag. Alright, so this is it. Gives you an idea of how thick this is. I'm not absolutely sure what it's made of, but it's pretty hefty. It's got a little plate light on there. One thing though that I must admit is I do not like this. I reckon they should have added in the proper connector, because I'd really hate cutting wires on a motorcycle. Cutting and splicing, I hate it. So when with the blinker bracket, sit something like that. So if you imagine this part goes up into the bike itself, so plate will be about here instead of down here. So it should tidy it up a bit. That's a side shot, bit of a idea. Alright, so what else is in here? Receipt, don't want to see that. Got instructions with photos, a couple of steps. That gives you an idea of the LED hanger. Alright, so let's get onto it. Alright, so first step, remove the seat. Done. Second, remove the pods, removing the 4 bolts. Alright, to do this you need a 5mm hex, and 1, 2, 3 and 4. Side pods off. Remove bolt above rear light as shown in picture 2. This one right here, guys, so this one right here. Number 4, remove under tray by removing bolt and 2 push fittings and securing plugs. Easy. This whole section will come down after the fourth and final bolt, so just be wary of that. You don't need to be pulling all the wires. Right, that's loose. Alright guys, so step 1 was to remove the seat. Step 2 was to remove the side pods. These have 2 bolts on each side and they just pop off. Remove the rear light above the light. It was this one right there. Remove the under tray. So under tray you gotta go underneath and there's 3 bolts. One basically in the center and then one on the side, one on the other side here. And that will let you remove the lights around. Then after that there's a little plate, it's underneath there as well. Just pull that out, and then there's 4 bolts which are holding this in. They are this one. The bolt size is a 12mm socket, and you get in there from underneath. Suggest using an extender on your ratchet so you can get up there. Be mindful there is the wires for the tail light and the blinkers up underneath there as well. And when you get to the 4th bolt, make sure you be holding this because it just falls, and you don't want to tear your wires from it falling down. So next, what am I up to? Disconnect wiring and remove all indicators. Sorry. Okay. Looking better already. Okay. Step number 7. Cut wires for original number plate light. No, I will not. Let's see picture 5. Let's see picture 5. We're going to go down here. Picture 5 is that guy apparently. Right. Okay. Put 6. Picture 6 is replacing everything. Alright. So, what am I going to do is remove the indicators from the original tail, and I'll get back to the next step. Alright guys, so on this part there's a little torque screw that you need to get rid of so you can get the wires out nice and easily. It is a T30 torque bit. So what I'm doing is I'm fitting my original Triumph indicators onto the indicator bracket simply by feeding wire through like so. That's it there. I'm going to put a bolt, bit of Loctite on the nut so they stay in place, and I'm going to do it on the left and the right and the left, and we're going to go from there. Alright, so there we go. That's what the indicator bracket will look like. Sit about here underneath the boat. Alright, on to the rest of it. Alright, so I know I said I hated doing this, but what I've done is I've cut off the connector from the tail, and what I'm going to do is just take it off, use the supplied Y connector crimps. That way this connector goes into the original connector, and these guys can just be easily taken on and off. So there you go, stripped, and now I'm going to get these connectors out, and you want a fair chunk of it, so you can slide this in there. there, and then what we're going to do is just crimp them so it squishes down onto the wire nice and tight. Alright, so next one, same deal, get it nice and in there, and we're going to crimp them the same way. Alrighty, so that way this, so we're going to make sure we go positive to positive, then the negative, like that. Push them on real tight, guys. Don't want any loose. So that's that. That's for the little plate light there. Alright, so once we get that, I'm going to undo these bolts here. Basically set it up like that. Then I'm going to bolt this onto the bike, and we'll see how it looks. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm tightening up these 3 bolts here for the LED bracket onto the main tail tidy. 4mm hex and 10mm socket. Now they do give you a bit of room for adjustment, so you can slide it up and down if you have different exhausts, because you might be in a different spot. Like your exhaust might be in a different height than the arrows that I have. I haven't even checked to see if this is in the right spot, but we'll soon find out. That'll be for a zip ties, I imagine, so the wires stay nice and out of the way. Alright, so we'll just fit all this into position. Oh, they're pretty. So that gives you an idea of how it's going to look. Not sure if I like how close the indicators are to the exhaust, so I might slide it down a touch. I don't want to be going fucking them up this quickly, so I'm going to loosen this up. I'm going to slide it down just a touch. Alright, so what I've done is slid it down just a little bit. Doesn't seem square. Anyway. Yeah, a bit more clearance. Alright guys, so this is the tail tidy all bolted up and wired up. As you can see, zip ties holding the wires for the blinkers here and here. Running down into a hole here, same with the plate light running down into here. In and out of another hole, and all bundled up here. And this area here gets basically enclosed with all the original wires, so all plugged in. They just nicely hide in there, if you can imagine that, underneath the bike. So how many wires flapping around? I am going to be cutting these off, don't worry about that. Alright, so now onto bolting it onto the bike. So basically it's the reverse of undoing the bike. So those 4 12mm bolts that were up underneath the tail of the bike, 1, 2, 3 and 4, we put those in, and this will be getting closer to be finished. Let's go. Alright, so when plugging the indicators back in, right hand side indicator is this red with white stripe and black. This is on a 2012 speed triple, mind you, it might be different for other years. And left hand is red to red, black to black. That's pretty simple. But yes, the red plus white is the right hand indicator. That'll hopefully save you some trouble wiring this back up. Alright guys, so I've progressed a bit with the tail tidy. I redid the 4 bolts up here, put the indicators on, everything's wired up. Number plate is on, so that's why it's all covered up with my sick sticker. So there you go, plate light is on. It is an LED, it is quite bright. Of course I got the lights on, so you can't really tell, but I'd say at night time it is pretty bright. I'll do the right indicator. There you go. So what I've got left to do is shove all the wiring up underneath, put that plate back on, put the light surround back on and the pods, and I'll give you a final look at the bike complete. So far I'm really digging this tail tidy. It's nice and compact. You don't have the indicators jutting out in weird angles. It just looks fairly stock. Alright guys, so this is the bike put back together. I'm going to do a little walk around so you get a good idea of how it looks like complete. So cue the music, let's go. Alright guys, so the tools that I use for the tail tidy, Phillips head. Now you don't have to have this, but I use this because I had the T30 Torx bit like this. Small ratchet 8mm bit, 5mm and 4mm hex, 12 socket bit and a 10, larger ratchet and extension, and wire crimpers for the plate light wires. Alright guys, so that is the SMOTO tail tidy. Really can't fault it. It looks pretty good, must add. Really tidies up the back end, makes it really stumpy, like the bike is stumpy on the rear end as it is. So it fits in well. So that's my video. If you liked it, click the like down here and make sure to subscribe. Thanks very much.